Now, today we will take up the next chapter, that is Kinship, Caste, and Class. Early societies circa 600 BCE to 600 CE. Circa means approximately, यानी हम लोग एंशंट इंडिया के 600 BCE से लेकर 600 CE यानी कॉमन एरा तक का टाइम पीरियड पढ़ेंगे. In this chapter, we are going to discuss issues related with kinship, caste, class of early societies of the time period of circa 600 BCE to 600 CE. So, in this chapter, we are not going to study the political and economic life only, but we are going to study the different issues related with the social history of this time period, which was related to class, caste, kinship, gender. और ये सभी इश्यूज जो ये मुद्दे हैं सामाजिक इतिहास के, वे किस पर बेस्ड हैं? These are based on textual traditions and it has been used by historians to reconstruct the social history of this time period. यानी हम ग्रंथों के आधार पर, ग्रंथों में जो वर्णित है 600 ईसा पूर्व से लेकर 600 ईस्वी सन के इकोनॉमिक सोशल ट्रेडिशंस, उनको हम लोग पढ़ेंगे. These textual traditions are to understand the changes in polity and economy. Some texts laid down norms of social behavior of society and other describe the occasionally comment on a wide range of social situation and practices. We can catch a glimpse of some social actors from inscriptions. Each text inscription was written from the perspective of some social categories, so we need to keep in mind who composed the text or inscription and what was their perspective. यानी हमें ये ध्यान रखना है जब हम इतिहास का अध्ययन करेंगे कि इन टेक्स्ट को, इन ग्रंथों को, इन इंस्क्रिप्शंस को किस विचारधारा और किस दृष्टिकोण के आधार पर लिखा गया. पर्सपेक्टिव मीन्स दृष्टिकोण. जिन हम टेक्स्ट को कंसिडर करेंगे सोशल हिस्ट्री को पढ़ने में, उसमें पहला टेक्स्ट है महाभारत. Mahabharata is a colossal epic which depicts a wide range of social categories and situations. It was composed over a period of about 1000 years. It means before the rise of 16 Mahajanpadas or before circa 600 BCE. यानी 5वीं शताब्दी ईसा पूर्व के दौरान महाभारत की घटना घटी और इसी घटना को इतिहासकार ने लिखा. अब ये कौन थे इतिहासकार, किसने लिखा, इसको भी हम लोग बाद की स्लाइड्स में टेकअप करेंगे. पहले हम देखेंगे कि महाभारत की मुख्य जो कहानी है, कथा है, वो क्या है. The central story of Mahabharata is about two sets of warring cousins, that is Kauravas and Pandavas. जहाँ 16 महाजनपदास राइज कर रहे थे, वहीं पर यानी दिल्ली के आसपास वो हस्तिनापुर नामक जगह है, वहाँ पर दो कज़न्स का ग्रुप था, दैट इज़ कौरवास एंड पांडवास. उनके बीच में लड़ाई हुई, एक संघर्ष हुआ एंड इट डिस्क्राइब्स अ फ्यूड ओवर लैंड एंड पावर. तो कई बार आपसे पूछा जाता है कि व्हाट इज़ द सेंट्रल स्टोरी ऑफ महाभारत. तो बच्चों, आपको ये दो लाइनें हमेशा याद रखनी है. द सेंट्रल स्टोरी ऑफ महाभारत इज़ अबाउट टू सेट्स ऑफ वॉरिंग कजिन्स, दैट इज़ कौरवास एंड पांडवास, And Mahabharata describes a feud over land and power. This text also contains sections laying down norms of behavior for various social groups. एक ये क्वेश्चन बहुत बार सीबीएसई में आता है कि महाभारत इज अ गुड एग्जाम्पल of laying down norms of behavior for social groups of circa 600 BCE to 600 CE. तब आप इसमें जो जो हम नॉर्म्स आगे आने वाली स्लाइड्स में डिस्कस करेंगे उनमें आप इन सभी नॉर्म्स को, इश्यूज़ को, वैल्यूज़ को हेडिंग डालकर लिख सकते हैं. ओके, नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. महाभारत के बहुत सारे एडिशंस थे डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस में. ठीक है, तो वी.एस. सुप्तानकर नाम के एक संस्कृत के स्कॉलर थे. ही टुक अ important project of preparing a critical edition of Mahabharata, and he appointed a team of various Sanskrit scholars. His team collected various Sanskrit manuscripts of the text that is related to Mahabharata and from the different parts of the country. And his team compared the different verses that have been discovered or found from each manuscript. Finally, they selected the verses that appeared common to most versions. This project took more than 47 years. Then Mr. V.S. Suptankar published these verses in several volumes in 13,000 pages. There were several, और जब उन्होंने इसे publish किया, then he found some common things. That is, there were several common elements in the Sanskrit version of the story. Enormous regional variation were also found. जो different manuscripts collect की गई थी उसमें regional variation था, यानी क्षेत्रीय विविधता थी, परंतु लेकिन उनकी जो स्टोरी थी वो एक थी. वो स्टोरी क्या थी? सेंट्रल स्टोरी, that is of two warring cousins, a feud over land and power. Of warring cousins कौन थे? Warring cousins थे Kauravas and Pandavas. The variation of Mahabharata reflects the complex process that shaped social histories through dialogue between dominant traditions and the resilient local ideas and practices characterized by the moments of conflict as well as consensus. यानी महाभारत में जो ये कॉम्प्लेक्स स्टोरी हमें मिलती है, छोटी स्टोरी, फिर उसके साथ साथ बहुत सारी सब स्टोरीज़ हमें मिलती हैं, लेकिन इन स्टोरीज़ से हमें 1000 साल की यानी 600 BC टू 600 CE के दौरान की जो सोशल हिस्ट्री थी वो हमें डायलॉग के थ्रू मिलती है, क्योंकि इस एपिक में बहुत सारे एक्टर्स हैं एंड दे टॉक, and through their talking or through their dialogue we come to know about the traditions that was prevalent during this time of period. This shows that there were many ideas and practices that was being prevalent in the society. Let us take up the structure of family. The family is known as kinfolk or kula. There were two types of families, patrilineal and matrilineal, यानी मातृसत्तात्मक और पितृसत्तात्मक. कुछ families छोटी होती थी, small in size, and some of the families were quite large in size. All the families were not identical. They vary in terms of numbers, relationship with each other, and the kinds of activities that they share. Very often, people belonging to the same family share food and other resources, work, and perform rituals. Families are generally a larger part of network of people known as relatives or kinfolk. Families' ties are based on blood and regarded as natural. यानी आपसे पूछा जाए क्वेश्चन व्हाट इज किनफोक और फैमिली, देन यू विल से फैमिली मीन्स किनफोक. द किनफोक means the people or the members of the family who are related with blood and which was regarded as natural. And the members of the family or the same family members, they share food and other resources, and they perform rituals also. As I have told you, there were some norms of kinfolk, family, and their relations. They are defined in many ways, such as in some societies, cousins are regarded as relatives. In other societies, they were not related. So, in the case of early societies, it is easy for historians to retrieve information from the families of elite class. On the other hand, it is very difficult to reconstruct the familial relationship of ordinary people. यानी हमें इन टेक्स्ट से एलीट क्लास के रिलेशंस के बारे में, एलीट मीन्स उच्च वर्ग के लोगों की परिवार के बारे में तो सूचना मिल जाती है, परंतु ऑर्डिनरी या कॉमन पीपल की फैमिली के रिलेशंस के बारे में हमें सूचना नहीं मिल पाती. बस ये आपको अपने दिमाग में, अपने माइंड में रखना है जब भी कोई क्वेश्चन आए कि हाउ वी रिकंस्ट्रक्ट द हिस्ट्री ऑफ ऑर्डिनरी पीपल ऑफ 600 BC टू 600 CE. तब आप महाभारत के नॉर्म्स को भी बताएंगे. उसके साथ साथ आप मंदसौर इंस्क्रिप्शन, जातीज, और इसके साथ साथ जो गिल्ड सिस्टम था जिसको हम अभी आगे टेकअप करेंगे, उनको भी ज़रूर लिखिएगा. अभी आपको आगे वाले स्लाइड्स में क्लियर हो जाएगा. This chart shows the ideal of पैटलिनी यानी शांतनु, विचित्रवीर, भीष्म. फिर विचित्रवीर के 2 पुत्र थे, 2 sons, that is धृतराष्ट्र एंड देन पांडु. धृतराष्ट्र के जो सन्स थे दे वर नोन एज कौरवास, और पांडु के सन्स दे वर नोन एज पांडवास. ओके, so we have taken the critical study of Mahabharata. Then we have taken up the norms of kinfolk, and now the ideal of family, that is patrilineal and matrilineal. Patrilineal means tracing descent from father to son and grandson and so on. And next ideal was matrilineal, is the term used when descent is traced through mother, यानी मातृसत्ता, माता के द्वारा वंश को जानना. और पैट्रिलिनी मीन्स पिता के वंश के द्वारा या पिता के द्वारा उसके वंश को जानना. Under patrilineal system was so that sons could claim their father's wealth when their father died. यानी पैट्रिलिनी के अंतर्गत यदि पिता की मृत्यु के बाद उसकी जो भी संपत्ति होती थी, जो वेल्थ होती थी, दैट वाज डिवाइडेड बिटवीन सन्स. अगर राजा के पास, इन केस द किंग डिड नॉट हैव एनी सन्स, देन his property was divided between his brothers. Then he was succeeded by one of his brothers. Sometimes other kinmen could also claim the throne, and it was a very exceptional case that women exercised power. ध्यान दीजिएगा, पैट्रिलिनी में पिता की जो भी संपत्ति होती थी वो सारी संपत्ति that could be claimed by sons. If there are no sons, then the father or the king could be succeeded by his brothers. If brothers are not there, then kinmen यानी उसकी फैमिली के अदर लोग भी क्लेम कर सकते हैं थ्रोन पे. लेकिन हमें एक एक्सेप्शन मिलता है, ड्यूरिंग गुप्ता पीरियड, then women could also exercise power, just as Prabhavati Gupta ruled at Vakataka. Now let us take up the next issue, that is rules of marriage. We come to know about the rules of marriage of period 600 BCE to 600 CE from धर्मशास्त्र एंड धर्मसूत्र. जैसे हमने चैप्टर के बिगनिंग में ही बताया था आपको कि हम टेक्स्ट के आधार पर सोशल नॉर्म्स को पढ़ेंगे और ये टेक्स्ट है धर्मशास्त्र. धर्मशास्त्र में 8 टाइप्स ऑफ मैरिजेस को रिकॉग्नाइज किया गया है, बट आउट ऑफ these 8 marriages, only 4 marriages were considered as good. The remaining marriages were condemned because they do not follow Brahmanical norms. विवाह के दौरान जो है कुछ महिलाओं को कुछ बातें आपको ध्यान रखनी है कि in marriage, during the time of marriage, bride gets kanyadan or the gift of a daughter in marriage was an important religious duty of father. और इसी टाइम में फादर के द्वारा गिफ्ट दिए जाते थे, बट फादर की प्रॉपर्टी में विमेन का कोई भी शेयर नहीं होता था. ठीक है, अभी हमने इससे पहले वाली स्लाइड में हम लोगों ने देखा कि फादर की प्रॉपर्टी में उसकी वेल्थ को उसके सन्स शेयर कर सकते हैं. अगर सन्स नहीं है तो ब्रदर्स शेयर करेंगे. अगर ब्रदर्स नहीं है देन द किनमैन कुड क्लेम, बट विमेन कुड नॉट क्लेम एनी प्रॉपर्टी इन द पेरेंटल प्रॉपर्टी. क्लियर? यानी डॉटर, वाइफ, सिस्टर्स प्रॉपर्टी में क्लेम नहीं कर सकते. अब आइए, ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ऑफ गर्ल्स मैरिज exogamy was considered desirable. Exogamy means marrying outside the kinfolk. Clear? Let us discuss the 4 types of marriages which were accepted and considered good in Dharmashastras. Endogamy. Endogamy refers to a marriage within a unit, marriage inside one's own group. This could be a kin group, caste, or a group living in the same locality. किनफोक के अंदर सेम लोकेलिटी में भी मैरिज हो सकती थी, जस्ट एज अर्जुन एंड द्रौपदी. Exogamy, it refers to the marriage outside one's own group, family, or kin. Polygamy. Polygamy is practice of a man having several wives, and polyandry is the practice of a woman having several husbands, just as Draupadi had several husbands. Now, there I have discussed two texts, that is Dharma Shastra and Dharma Sutra. These are codes of social behavior meant to be followed by Brahmanas in particular and society in general. धर्मशास्त्र और धर्मसूत्र ब्राह्मणों के द्वारा फॉलो की जाती थी. ये सोशल बिहेवियर के नॉर्म्स थे, कोड्स थे, और पूरी सोसाइटी को भी इसे फॉलो करना था. दीज टेक्स्ट वर रिटन इन संस्कृत. With the emergence of the town, people from near and far met to buy and sell their produce and shared their ideas in the urban social environments. This might have led to the questioning of the earlier beliefs and practices. It was to meet this challenge that the Dharma Shastras and Dharma Sutras were compiled. So, this slide tells you why Dharma Shastra and Dharma Sutras were compiled by Brahmanas. जैसे जैसे शहरों का उदय हुआ, ठीक, मीन्स टू से विद द इमर्जेंस ऑफ टाउन एंड पीपल, वो एक जगह से दूसरी जगह पे जाते थे और वो अपने आइडियाज़ को शेयर करते थे. तो दिस माइट लेड टू द क्वेश्चनिंग ऑफ द अर्लियर बिलीव्स बिफोर circa 600 BCE. देयरफॉर ब्राह्मणास ने इस चुनौती को का सामना करने के लिए कि जो लोग एक शहर से दूसरे शहर जा रहे हैं उनके बीच में क्या सोशल नॉर्म्स होने चाहिए, उन चीज़ों को देखते हुए, उन चैलेंजेस, उन चुनौतियों को देखते हुए धर्मशास्त्र और धर्मसूत्र में कोड्स लिखे गए. कोड मतलब नियम. तो धर्मशास्त्र और धर्मसूत्र में किस के कोड लिखे गए, सोशल बिहेवियर के कोड्स लिखे गए. Who wrote? Brahmanas compiled. Brahmanas compiled social norms in Dharma Shastras and Dharma Sutras, and this was followed by Brahmanas in particular, and the rest of the society also followed in general. Now let us take up the next issue, that is Gotra. Gotra refers to the name given to a particular group of people on the name of a Vedic seer as their father, so as to establish kinship between them. यानी kinship मतलब बंधुत्व. The system of Gotra has significance to women. अब देखिए, men and women दोनों के लिए significant था, but women were expected to take up the Gotra of of her husband upon her marriage and gave up her father's Gotra. And members of the same Gotra could not marry. So what are the rules of Gotra? Number 1, women Gotras were defined twice. Before marriage, they were known through through their father's Gotra, and at the time of marriage, the women had to take up the Gotra of her husband. मतलब 2 बार हो गया. एक विवाह के पूर्व वो अपने पिता के गोत्र से जानी जाती थी, और विवाह के उपरांत जो गर्ल्स होती थी या जो विमेन होती थी, उन्हें अपने हस्बैंड के गोत्र को अडॉप्ट करना होता था. लेकिन मेन का या पुरुषों का गोत्र नहीं बदलता था, वो सिर्फ एक बार ही डिफाइन होता था. अगर आपको कहें कि 600 BCE में क्या सोसाइटी में मेन और वीमेन में डिफरेंस था, तब आप लिख सकते हैं गोत्रा को कोट करते हुए कि यस, men gotras were defined once but women gotras were defined twice. Clear? इसी तरीके से आप बता सकते हैं कि प्रॉपर्टी में फादर के बाद सन्स को क्लेम था, ब्रदर्स का क्लेम था, किन मेन का क्लेम था, बट विमेन कुड नॉट क्लेम शेयर इन देयर पेरेंटल प्रॉपर्टी. क्लियर है? अब आइए देखते हैं अदर रूल्स एंड द फीचर्स ऑफ गोत्र. मेंबर्स ऑफ द सेम गोत्र कुड नॉट मैरी. People retained these names instead of adopting names derived from their husband's gotra as instructed by the Brahmanical rules. They means women. Some of women married to Satvahana rulers belong to the same gotra. अब देखिए सातवाहनास कौन है, आपके माइंड में आ रहा होगा. तो जो मौर्यन पीरियड था, जो हमने 2nd चैप्टर में पढ़ा था, तो मौर्यन पीरियड के डिक्लाइन के बाद 3 ब्राह्मणिकल रूलर्स ने रूल किया. उसमें सातवाहनास थे, शुंग थे, कर्ण थे. सातवाहनास जो है आपके जो मॉडर्न महाराष्ट्र है आपका, उस पूरे एरिया में सेंट्रल इंडिया एंड महाराष्ट्र में सातवाहनास रूल करते थे, और उसी को कोट करके आपको बताया जा रहा है. ये कोट इसलिए किया जा रहा है कि हमें ये इंस्क्रिप्शन सातवाहनास के मिलते हैं. एज is obvious, this ran counter to the ideal of exogamy recommended in Brahmanical text. In fact, it exemplified an alternative practice, that of endogamy or marriage within the kin group, which was prevalent among several communities in South India. Such marriages amongst kinfolk ensured a close-knit community. Let us see the next issue. Do you think that mothers were important? यहाँ पर हम सातवाहनास के इंस्क्रिप्शंस को कोट करते हुए कहेंगे कि सातवाहना रूलर्स वर आइडेंटिफाइड थ्रू मेट्रोनिमिक्स, यानी वे मातृवंश के द्वारा जाने जाते थे, which suggests that mothers were given importance. But their succession to the throne was generally patrilineal, means पितृसत्ता. Clear? जो सातवाहना रूलर्स थे वो अपना नाम माता के नाम से अपने नाम को रखते थे. जैसे गौतमी पुत्र श्री शातकर्णी सन ऑफ गौतमी. क्लियर? एग्जाम्पल आप देख रहे हैं. बट फादर के बाद उसका सन थ्रोन पे जाएगा, डॉटर नहीं सक्सेशन होगी. बट देयर वाज सक्सेशन टू द थ्रोन वाज जनरली पैट्रिलियन, मतलब पुरुष के बाद पुरुष ही गद्दी पर बैठेगा. Several inscriptions of Satvahana rulers mention the name of their mothers rather than their fathers. Now, was there social difference beyond kinfolk? Yes, there were caste. Caste referred to a set of hierarchical, ordered social categories laid down in Dharma Sutras and Dharma Shastras. Brahmanas claimed that they were placed themselves on the top and the Shudras at the bottom. The Brahmanas claimed that this order was divinely ordained, यानी प्राप्त किया गया. तो हम इन स्लाइड्स में वर्णा सिस्टम, कास्ट सिस्टम एंड जाति सिस्टम, तो कास्ट को ही वर्णा सिस्टम यहाँ कहा गया. देयर वर 4 वर्णास. ठीक है. ब्राह्मण, क्षत्रिय, वैश्य, शूद्र एंड दीज वर द, जो इन 4 कैटेगरीज में नहीं आते थे उन्हें अनटचेबल्स का नाम दिया गया. So you could see Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. The Dharma Shastras and Dharma Sutras describe the rules about the ideal occupation of the 4 categories of the caste or the Varnas. So let us see what was the occupation of these 4 Varnas according to Dharma Shastra and Dharma Sutras. Brahmanas were supposed to study and teach Vedas and perform sacrifices and get sacrifices performed. Sacrifice का मतलब यज्ञ. And give and receive gifts. ये काफ़ी बोर्ड में पूछा जाता है. What are the 4 Varnas and what are their or right occupation? Clear? Kshatriyas were to engage in warfare, protect people and administer justice, study the Vedas, get sacrifices performed and make gifts. उन्हें gifts देने होते थे. Vaishyas were expected to give gifts, get sacrifices performed and study Vedas in addition to engaging agriculture, pastoralism and trade. Shudras were assigned only one occupation, that of serving the higher 3 varnas. मतलब शूद्रों का काम था वो ब्राह्मण, क्षत्रिय, वैश्य की सेवा करें, उनको सर्व करें. And they cannot study Vedas. Vedas were 4: ऋग्वेद, सामवेद, अथर्ववेद एंड यजुर्वेद. ब्राह्मण, क्षत्रिय, वैश्य वेदों को पढ़ सकते थे, ये भी उनका एक ऑक्यूपेशन था. यज्ञ कर सकते थे, sacrifice कर सकते थे, perform कर सकते थे. Sacrifices means yajna. There were many types of yagyas or the sacrifices, just as Ashwamedh yajna. Right? What strategies were developed by Brahmanas to enforce Varna system in society? So, Brahmanas developed 3 strategies to enforce Varna system. First, Brahmanas asserted that the Varna order was of divine origin, यानी दैवी है. Secondly, Brahmanas advised the king to ensure the Varna system was followed within their kingdom. ब्राह्मणास ने किंग्स से कहा कि वे इंश्योर करें कि वर्णा सिस्टम उनके किंगडम में फॉलो हो. Thirdly, Brahmanas attempted to persuade the people that their status was determined by birth, यानी कि अगर वो क्षत्रिय वर्ण में पैदा हुए हैं तो वो क्षत्रिय ही बनेंगे, जो जिस वर्ण में पैदा होगा. So their status is determined by birth and it is of divine origin, and Brahmanas also advise kings to ensure these norms within their kingdoms. So क्या आपको ऐसा लगता है कि 600 BC से लेकर 600 CE में सारे रूलर्स क्षत्रिय रहे होंगे? Let us see this question. According to the Shastras, that is Dharma Shastra and Dharma Sutra, only Kshatriyas were supposed to be the rulers. But if we minutely observe, we are able to understand that there were many non-Kshatriya rulers. For example, Mauryans who were ruling During 600 BCE, they were of low origin. Later, Buddhist texts suggest that these Mauryas were Kshatriyas, while the Brahmanical texts describe them as the rulers of low origin. Then, after immediate succession of Mauryas, there were Shungas, Karnva and Satavahanas, and they were Brahmanas. Satavahana kings Gautami Putrashit Shatkarni claimed to be the Brahman, and he described himself as a destroyer of Kshatriya pride. And there were some non-Kshatriya kings, that is Gautamiputra Shatkarni. He also claimed to have ensured that there were no intermarriage amongst members of the four Varnas, but he himself entered into a marriage alliance with the king of Rudradaman, a Shaka ruler who was not a Kshatriya. शक ये बाहर से भारत में ये विदेशी शासक थे. For this example, we can assume that integration within the framework caste was often a complicated process. The Satavahanas claimed to be Brahmanas, whereas according to the Brahmanas, kings ought to be Kshatriyas. They claimed to uphold the four-fold Varna order, but entered into marriage alliance with the people of other caste. Besides, Brahmanical texts prescribe exogamy, but Satavahanas practiced endogamy. So, this shows that the norms were not followed totally. Let us take up jatis. As I have told you, that we will consider some of the inscriptions also. The another issue is jati. Varnas were four, but jatis were n numbers. But jatis were also based on birth. The Varnas were fixed at four, but there were no restriction on the number of jatis. और जैसे जैसे cities develop होने लगे, new groups develop हुए, तो जातीज भी according to the occupation वो different होती चली गई. इसीलिए मैंने कहा n नंबर थी, यानी अनगिनत जाति थी. For instance, people living in forest were known as nishadas. Those who were working as goldsmiths, Swarnakara, they was classified as Swarnakara Jati. Jatis were shared as a common occupation or profession and were sometimes organized into shrines or guilds. The stone inscription in Mandsaur or Madhya Pradesh provides information about the social process and the nature of guilds. Guild यानी श्रेणी, यानी जो सोशल ऑक्यूपेशन था, जो ट्रेडर्स थे उनके अपने छोटे छोटे गिल्ड्स होते थे, उनके छोटे एक ग्रुप्स होते थे, उन ग्रुप्स को गिल्ड्स कहा जाता. These guilds were expert in some type of craft. For example, Guild of Silk Weavers, who originally lived in Lata, Gujarat, shifted to Mandsaur along with their kinfolk and children. The members of the guild were based on the shared craft specialization. Some members adopted different occupations, and the inscriptions inform us, apart from common, professional, shared by the members, they also collectively decided to invest their wealth earned through craft and constructed a splendid temples in honor of the sun god. तो बच्चों, जब भी आपको पूछा जाए कि हमें कॉमन पीपल के बारे में कैसे जानकारी मिलती है, इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है of 600 BC to 600 CE, तो आप कहेंगे हाँ, we come to know through jatis, through guild system, and we also get information from Mandsaur inscription. और जितना भी स्लाइड में बताया गया है, जस्ट एज सिल्क वीवर्स के बारे में, या उससे पहले वाली स्लाइड में जिसमें गोल्ड स्मिथ के बारे में बताया गया, उनको भी आप इनकॉर्पोरेट करेंगे या उसको इंक्लूड करेंगे. ठीक है. Do you think there were more than four Varnas? Yes, there were more than four Varnas. लेकिन क्वेश्चन ऐसे नहीं आता है बोर्ड में. क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, डू यू थिंक दैट ब्राह्मणास complicated the social system? they further complicated the social system? You will say yes. Brahmanas complicated the social system. They further classified the society as nishadas and mlechas. There were population, अब आप for example देंगे, there were populations which were social practices were not influenced by manical ideas such as nishadas. Example आप एकलव्य का देंगे. They were nomadic, pastoralist, and there were a sharing of ideas and beliefs between these people. And then Shak Kushanas and Satwahanas, these rulers came in India from Central Asia and they were regarded as barbarians, outsiders, and mlechas. So, some powerful mlechas were familiar with Sanskrit traditions, just as Shaka ruler Rudradaman, और जिसके साथ जो एग्जाम्पल मैंने आपको दिया कि जो शातकर्णी था जो कि ब्राह्मणस था, उसने अपने वैवाहिक संबंध शकर रूलर्स के साथ स्थापित किए थे. सो there were four varnas: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and beyond these four varnas there were other groups also, and Brahmanas identified them as nishadas and as well as mlechas. And then third were known as untouchables. The untouchables was considered as social category as chandalas. They were considered untouchable, polluted, and these included handling corpse, dead bodies, and dead animals, and they performed such tasks known as chandalas. They were placed at the very bottom of the social hierarchy. Touching and seeing them was regarded as polluting by the Brahmanas. Manusmriti laid down the duties of the Chandalas. They had to live outside the village and used discarded utensils. They wore clothes of the dead and ornaments of iron. They could not walk and out in villages and cities at night. They had to dispose the bodies of those who had no relatives and serve as executioners. There were Chinese travelers. They also mentioned about untouchables. They mentioned untouchables and chandalas as clappers when they entered into cities. So these peoples had to clap just to avoid the sight of other people. And these Chinese travelers were Yuanzhang, who visited India in the 7th century CE and observed that executioners and scavengers were forced to live outside the city. There were stances of Chandalas who were not accepting the life of degradation and prescribed in the Shastras. The social position of the different sections were often shaped by their access to the economic resources. The criteria on which property is granted is as following: on the basis of gender, on the basis of the varna. So let us discuss another issue: how property was accessed. The access to resources sharpened the social difference between men and women. According to Manusmriti, women were not eligible to claim a share in the parental property, as I have told you earlier. Parental property was divided among sons after the death of parents, with a special share for the eldest. However, women could only retain gifts at the time of their marriage as Istridhan or Kanyadan. According to the Brahmanical text, only occupation prescribed for the Shudras was to serve the upper three varnas, while a variety of occupations were assigned for the first three varnas. The wealthiest people would have been the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. Buddhism recognized that this division of society is prevalent in society but did not regard these as natural and inflexible. बुद्धिज्म कहता है कि समाज में ब्राह्मणों ने सोसाइटी को बांटा हुआ था, लेकिन बुद्धिज्म इस डिवीजन को यानी वर्ण सिस्टम को नेचुरल नहीं मानते थे. वो ये कहते थे इट वॉज नॉट नेचुरल, इट इज मैन मेड. They means Buddhists also rejected the idea of claim for higher status on the basis of birth. तो बच्चों ध्यान रखिए, ब्राह्मणिकल सिस्टम और बुद्धिज्म में सोसाइटी के डिवीजन को लेकर के क्या डिफरेंस था. अकॉर्डिंग टू ब्राह्मणिकल सोसाइटी, the society was divided into Varna and it is based on access to property, and there were lot of differences in the society. And Brahmanas claimed these division of the society was natural, divine and determined by birth. But Buddhism recognized this type of division of society is not natural and it is not inflexible. It is man-made. And Buddhism rejected the idea of claim for the higher status on the basis of birth. Let us take up one more text, that is Tamil Sangam. Tamil or the Sangam literature. It illustrates economic social relationships, suggesting that while there were differences between rich and poor, and those who controlled resources were expected to share with others. Myth found in Sutta Pitak. Sutta Pitak ये ब्राह्मण बौद्ध धर्म के 3 ग्रंथ हैं, that is known as त्रिपिटक, और Sutta Pitak, Vinaya Pitak and Avidhamma Pitak. So Sutta Pitak is a part of a Brahmanical text. Sutta Pitak is a part of Buddhist text. The institution of kingship was based on human choice, with the taxes as form of payment for the services rendered by the king. At the same time, it reveals recognition of human agency in creating and institutionalizing economic and social relations. It also recognizes the fact that since human beings are responsible for creation of system, they could also change it in future. King was elected by the whole people. This idea is based on Sutta Pitak, यानी बुद्धिज्म के आइडिया पर बेस्ड है. Let us see how historians take up Mahabharata. The elements of consideration for historians while analyzing the text are as following. The language of the text, whether it was ordinary people's language or the language of the priests and elites. The king of the text, whether it was a mantra or the story. The author's perspective in writing the text, the audience to whom it was written, and the date of composition and compilation of the text means Mahabharata, and the place of composition. Mahabharata, which was circulated orally by 5th century BCE, the Brahmanas began committing this to writing after 5th century BCE. It is also possible that upheaval occurring in social values being replaced by new norms at this time were reflected in Mahabharata. Another phase is 200 CE and 200 BCE, when worship of Vishnu was growing and Krishna was being identified with Vishnu. Between 200 and 400 CE, didactic section of Mahabharata resembling Manusmriti was added. All these additions made the text, which started with less than 10,000 verses, to 1 lakh verses. This work is traditionally attributed to sage Veda Vyasa. The text presented and classified into 2 sections, that is designated as narrative and didactic. Didactic section includes stories, narratives, and social messages. Let us see महाभारत एक्चुअली कहाँ पर हुआ, विच वॉज द प्लेस. सो बीबी लाल ने आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया के थ्रू एक्सकवेशंस कराए 1951 से 1952 के बीच में, and houses of this period was built of mud bricks as well as burnt bricks. Soakage jars and brick drains were used for draining out refuse water. Terracotta ring wells were being used both as wells and drainage pits. Polyandry was practiced in Mahabharata. For example, Draupadi's marriage with Pandavas was an example of polyandry marriage. Polyandry marriage in Mahabharata suggests different things. It may be because of the shortage of women due or because of war or due to situational crisis, or maybe just to make it more इंटरेस्टिंग, महाभारत को इंटरेस्टिंग बनाने के लिए भी हो सकता है राइटर ने पॉलिंड्री टाइप ऑफ मैरिज को रिफ्लेक्ट किया. क्या हम महाभारत को एक डायनामिक टेक्स्ट के रूप में मान सकते हैं? यस, महाभारत इज अ डायनामिक टेक्स्ट. डायनामिक मीन्स गत्यात्मक, स्टैटिक नहीं है, वो एक जगह पर स्थिर नहीं. सिर्फ एक कहानी ये फ्यूड की नहीं है, वॉरिंग कजन्स की कहानी नहीं है, बल्कि ये डायनामिक टेक्स्ट है बिकॉज इट इज़ रिटन इन वैरायटी ऑफ लैंग्वेजेस. बहुत सारी लैंग्वेजेस में लिखा गया, जैसे संस्कृत है, मलयालम है, तमिल है, तेलुगु है, उड़िया लैंग्वेज है, बहुत सारी लैंग्वेजेस में लिखा गया. Those people who wrote the versions of the epic added stories originated or circulated in their localities. मतलब regional variation भी है. The central story of the epic was often retold in many ways. Episodes were depicted in sculptures and paintings. यानी जो stories हैं उसके बेस पे painters ने sculptures भी बनाए, अपनी paintings बनाई. They also provided themes for wide range of performing art, plays, dance and other kind of narrations. और कुरु और पंचाल रीजन को हम इस मैप के थ्रू देख सकते हैं. So thank you. Now this way we have completed the whole of the chapter.